Not all games have a story.
But Among Us isn't one of them.
But what are some potential elements that create the overall story?
That's what we're exploring today.
Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming.
I'm Bree-Roo.
And I'm Connor Monroe.
And this is the top 10 scary Among Us lore theories, so let's just jump right into it. At number 10, you can't win. Have you ever played a game where you never really win? Well, according to a theory by the one and only MatPat, if you've been playing Among Us, you can say that you have. While yes, there is a way of winning the game, if you and the other crew members make it out alive, whether by ejecting the imposter or by completing all of your tasks before the imposter gets the chance to kill everyone, it might not be the real ending. When you think about it, you and your fellow crew members are on a ship or on a planet or even at HQ trying to complete your tasks, but every time there seems to be something coming after you. Now you can pass each round successfully and move on to other locations with new people all you want, but you keep losing even if you end up getting away with your life. How, you ask? Well, because you're never really resolving the issue. No matter how many times you and the crewmates win, the imposter just keeps coming back and will keep doing so until you permanently put a stop to them. The only way you can truly win is if you eradicate the imposter for good and make sure that they cannot come back and try and kill you again. So until that happens, good luck losing.
And a 9 kill cooldown. The kill cooldown in game is obviously for balancing purposes, so you can't just kill everyone in a room before they have the chance to report a body. However, there has to be some reason for it in universe, right? It's not like the imposter is just being polite and waiting for someone to notice a body. No, there has to be a reason, but what is it? YouTuber Mr. Chubby Wubs the Cat has a pretty decent explanation that they cover in their video, Why Does the Imposter Not Kill Everyone? They believe that the imposter cleans off their murder weapon before continuing to the next victim, whether it be a knife, a gun, or of course the tongue. This obviously doesn't explain the whole neck snap, but we can assume it takes time to rip the top half of someone's body off. I can attest to this. The gun obviously needs to be reloaded and the knife needs the blood wiped off. And they're sure that the imposter will want to take the shards of glass out of its tongue. I doubt it's a midnight snack, since it's pierced the entire spacesuit. The link to the full video is in the description and I think it's an excellent theory and suggest you check the video out. It's like 3 minutes long, okay? Tell them the king sent you.
At number 8, what are the imposters? Really, what are the imposters? Are they a bunch of crewmates who went crazy? Are they aliens looking to wipe out the human race? Well, it turns out that the imposters are a race of parasitic shapeshifters that have pretty much infiltrated the crew and are trying to kill everyone. I mean, this really isn't a theory, it's canon. According to the developers, these shapeshifters are the ones who are trying to sabotage and murder their way to victory. This also goes along with MatPat's theory of how you can never win the game because these imposters being shapeshifters can always take the place of a new person. Really, if you successfully eject a person who you thought was the imposter, they could have already shapeshifted into a completely new person, so the one you just ejected was parasite free. Or you could just have multiple parasites on the ship and you wouldn't even know it. We know that the imposters aren't human because of the cutscenes that show the players being killed. That tongue spike thing, I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody who has that. We don't know where they came from, but my best guess is that they came from deep space or something.
And at 7, Assimilate. The 2019 movie Assimilate has some eerie similarities to Among Us. Of course, it came out after the game, but does that mean it was inspired by a little known at the time indie game? Well, at the end of the movie, spoiler alert by the way, if you want to see it, go watch it, then come back. I can wait. And even if I couldn't, you can force me to by pausing. Okay, you watched it? Good. At the end of the movie, we see that the shapeshifters had already taken over the rest of the planet, that the town the movie was focused on was essentially the last one or one of the last to be assimilated. What if it's the same concept for Among Us? What if the imposters had taken over the world before we found them on the Skeld? It would make sense. We're out on a space mission, one of the most isolated places, so we would be easy pickings, but we would also be the last to know if the globe was conquered. We'd come back to find places abandoned, like our home base for example. Mirror HQ doesn't have anyone in there aside from us, and the logs only show where we've been, indicating that they've been gone for a while. What about the Polis research station? What if that's where the infection started, if it was ground zero? Or they had already started. They saved the ones on the ship until last, sending them with a double agent because if people started dying on a ship, we'd let Houston know. But we don't. We try to deal with it ourselves, even if comms is working. But why? Because we have no one to talk to.
At number 6, where did the imposters come from? So where are they from? We have no concrete story of the imposters' origin, but there is a theory that they came came from the frozen waste of the planet Polis. See, the idea here is that while the crewmates were stationed on Polis, they were looking for a substance to power the Mira HQ. This is supported by the fact that you can see mining gear on the map and excavation sites everywhere. Now, while mining, it is believed that the crewmates stumbled across an unknown specimen and they decided to study this unknown life form. It is also backed up by the fact that there's a specimen room on the Polis map. Now, on top of that, there's evidence that these specimens broke out of their containers and got loose in the area, because in the Polis laboratory you can see broken glass, so maybe these specimens or parasites were dormant while in the freezing temperatures outside, but when brought in to study, they slowly woke up again as they acclimated to warmer temperatures and they broke out of their containers. Now, these creatures are shapeshifting and killing crewmates left, right, and center. Maybe they're evil, or maybe they're just grumpy that the crewmates woke them up.
Halfway through number 5, what do they want? Like Bree said, it's canon that the imposters are shapeshifters that sabotage and murder their way to victory, but what is victory for them? What is their end goal? Are they in the end game now? They could very well just want the evisceration of the human race. Perhaps we invaded their territory and they're mad about it. Understandable. Or maybe they're killing their planet and they need to move to another one. Perhaps it's a commentary on how we're killing our planet. Or a way for the Innersloth devs to depict their thoughts of murderous rampage without hurting anything but friendships. Or maybe the imposters on their own mission because someone ate the slice of pizza that they were saving in the fridge. That's also understandable. But I'm sure we can assume that it's probably one of the more violent ones, like wanting to destroy the race of crewmates, they want to claim the planet as their own, or someone took their slice of pizza.
At number 4, the story mode. MapPad had another theory, this time about the overarching story of the game. In Among Us, we started off with the Skeld being the first map, then with the DLCs we got Mira HQ and Polis. There is a theory of how all 3 of these maps are connected and the story that brings them together. Basically, the idea is that after spending time on the Skeld in space, the crewmates head home to Mira HQ, probably thinking that the imposter won't be able to hurt them there. After some time at the HQ, the team is then deployed for another mission, this time on the planet Polis. So basically, we're telling a story about a crew of scientists who, let's say, work for Mira, whether that's a company or whatever, and they get deployed on different missions. We start the story as if we are on our way home from one mission on the Skeld, then we finally get back home to Mira HQ, and then sometime later we are deployed again to Polis. The imposters seem to keep following us to each location since their parasite has more or less infected the crew, and the battle for survival continues.
In at 3, the airship. Now, keeping that story in mind, where will the airship fit into this? Also, just so we're clear, I joked in a previous Among Us Theories video that this was going to be a FNAF crossover map. It was a joke. Why are y'all getting so mad about it? I'm pretty sure I've talked about it being a Henry Stickmin map in videos that came before that. Do I need a sarcasm sign every time I make a joke? Anyway, the airship isn't in space, it's in the air, obviously, but my guess is that it's probably flying above Polis. It was the latest map in the sequence, and hey, if there's an imposter on the planet in our research station, maybe we should hop onto the airship we found and hit the skies so we can get away. But ha! Joke's on you, the imposter is still with you, and they're still gonna wipe you out. That's the most likely scenario. The other is that they just needed some intel off the ship.
At number 2, horror story. This next theory comes from Reddit user I_exist_yay, and I have to say it is quite an intriguing story. Basically, the theory is that the whole story of the game, its whole premise of the imposter who goes around killing crewmates, was just a horror story. Team members are just telling the story of a crewmate who kind of snapped and went on a killing spree in an attempt to find and kill an imposter that they believe is on board, not realizing that they themselves are the imposter. This crewmate lives with the idea that they're saving everyone when in reality they're the one who is the imposter. The idea that this is a horror story is pretty cool, but I want to take it one step further by adding the theory that the events of the game are taking place inside of a crewmate's dream. Imagine the crewmate heard this imposter horror story and they ended up dreaming about it that night, and the game that we're playing are the events taking place inside the crewmate's dream. This could explain the screens at the beginning and end of rounds, sort of looking like what you would see when your eyes are half open. The scenes signifying the beginning of the dream going into the game, and the end of the dream as the crewmate wakes up from the dream or nightmare, depending on if they won or lost.
Finally, in at number 1, all crewmates are imposters. What if all of the crewmates are imposters? I mean, it would make some form of whack sense. They all could have gotten infected or taken over by shape-shifting parasites that planned on infiltrating Earth or Polis. This would explain how there would be more than one, how it could be any color, especially if we are to believe that there is a story to the game, and provide another plausible explanation for everything going on. But if this was the case, what would cause one of them to go berserk, killing all the others? This could be multiple things. Perhaps remorse, the desire to prevent things from happening. Perhaps that imposter is working with the government and was tasked with dealing with the others. Maybe he just doesn't like his coworkers. It's really unclear. I would absolutely love some help on this. If you'd like, you can provide some explanations as to why the imposter would turn on the others in the comments below.
Alright friends, there you have it. Our list of the top 10 scary Among Us lore theories. If you have any more suggestions as to some other lore theories, leave them down in the comments, but be nice to us, okay? This job is hard.
Yeah, we really should have written an outro for this.
Whatever.
Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Showermate Connor Monroe.
And I've been your other host, Bree Room.
And we'll see you in another video.
Bye.